You are now listening to the NFT Quarterback Podcast with your host, Riki Van Winkle. Thursday night, Steelers and Browns were playing. Browns won the game 29-17. What did you take away from that game, Danny?
You know what? The Browns running game really showed up that night. They were just running it at will. Chubb, I believe, went 23 carries for 113 yards. Kareem Hunt, I believe, put up another 47 yards. So that's like 115 yards rushing right there. Amari Cooper had 7 catches for 101 yards. So that's like an average of 14 yards a catch.
Yeah.
So they gave up about over 300 yards of offense right there. Steelers defense did. So without TJ Watt, man, they really just didn't look the same, and I think it's gonna be like that until he comes back.
Were they having trouble getting pressure up front? Was that the theme throughout the game?
Yeah, for sure. The Browns were definitely controlling the line. They were definitely controlling the line right there. So.
All right, and then Brissett has time. If he's got 150 yards on the ground, then Brissett also has time to stand back in the pocket and find Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
And I was pretty down on Cooper after his time in Dallas because I feel like he never developed into a true number one. But now he has the opportunity with the Browns to prove himself, I guess, again. You know, he's got to get out there and do it. But with more games like that, definitely something that could be coming his way.
Yeah, I've always liked Amari Cooper. I know some people haven't felt the same, but he's a solid guy, and he's been in the league, I don't know, damn near 7, 8.
Yeah, because he spent that time with the Raiders, then Cowboys, and yeah, I mean, I like that. I don't like that they got rid of Landry because I like Landry, but you know, maybe they were just trying to say, okay, Amari, you're our guy, and to let him go out there. Now,
yeah, I was surprised they let go of Landry as well. He's a hell of a ball player.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of that guy from Tampa Bay, number 13. What's his name?
What are you talking about? I'm not sure if we're talking about Godwin.
Evans.
Like Evans. Oh.
Yeah, just kind of like a solid receiver, you know?
Oh, yeah. Evans, he's going to be serving a 1-game suspension this week, actually.
For fighting?
Yeah, for fighting last week. Yep.
Well, he did. He clocked that guy. I mean, he really clocked him.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere.
Boom.
He later said, "Well, it's Tom Brady. What am I supposed to do?" Right? He's like, "I gotta go have my homies back."
Yeah, he does. I mean,
which is true.
Tom Brady won him a Super Bowl. What do you expect the guy to do? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. When your kid is out there arguing with somebody else, you gotta have his back.
Yeah. I mean, he let the world know because he put that dude straight on the floor.
For sure. But then he got put on the floor too by like 3 guys.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you see that coming. There's a lot of people out there, man. Yeah, it got pretty nasty. I mean,
you're gonna block somebody, they're gonna come after you.
Yeah. Oh man, that's how things get heated. But Tom Brady, I just see this dude. He's out there with his cane. He's got the tennis ball on the end of it, and he's just he'll pick a fight with anybody. Remember in the Super Bowl, he was picking a fight with Honey Badger, and now he's out here picking a fight with the Saints DBs. Like, he does not care.
You know what? I forgot what he said, but it was after they had scored a touchdown. He was just like, "Yeah, you like that?"
Oh man.
Man, he's got a lot of fight in him. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
He's like the young bro, like the smallest brother in the crew, and he knows he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah, right.
Because his big brothers are always standing around him. He's the He can say whatever he wants.
All right, let's get back. So Browns defense is legit. I mean, I guess we can carry that. They can carry that with them over the next couple of weeks. They're 2-1 right now,
Yeah,
so I think
and
they're.
they could have been 3-0. They I don't know. They shit the bed against the Jets. The
Yeah,
Jets of
yeah.
all people,
All right, that's not a.
like a 37-year-old Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did.
So
It's just the
I'm wondering then if
with
are the Jets legit or is it just a lapse by the
the,
Browns?
the Jets. No, definitely not. No, the Jets are not legit. But I'm happy they got a win. I like the guy. How do you is it Salata
Salah,
or
Salah.
Sala?
Yeah,
I like the you know
yeah, for sure. All right, let's get into it for the games tomorrow. So you got the Chiefs at the Colts. Chiefs are 2-0, and the Colts are 0-1-1. Oh, Colts got shut out last week by the Jaguars, and
yeah,
Chiefs are on fire. I mean, this is like the easiest game to pick, I think, out there.
for sure. That's what I'm saying too. The spread is 5.5 right now. I would even take that. I'd take the points on that. 5.5. I think this is good. I'm surprised it's not higher.
Man, they
I,
need to. The Colts somehow need to develop their rushing game because that was non-existent last week
yeah, right. I think he only had like 50 yards.
on 9 carries.
Yeah,
Come on. All right, so that's an easy game, I think. What about
I
the
think that's lock of the week right there.
lock of the week? Lock that one in at 5.5, taking the points. Danny's saying we got the
Yeah.
Texans and the Bears. Chicago is favored to win that game.
Is that in Chicago?
Yeah, it's in Chicago.
So because it's in Chicago, I think I'll take Chicago with that one. Both teams are still trying to find their identity. I think they both have second year quarterbacks. Was Davis Mills and Justin Fields. Mills is having not a little slightly better year. His passing yards so far look like they're 42 for 75, 417 yards, 2 TDs. Justin Fields only has 191 yards throwing,
Eesh.
two picks. So
How many yards does Fields have rushing?
rushing, let me see.
They had that bad game, the bad weather game against Frisco, but I feel like he came out clutch in that game because we were talking about that. And then the Bears lost last week to the Packers, so he probably didn't have a good game against the Pack.
He's only got 48 yards rushing right now.
He hasn't been doing much then. If
Yeah,
2 games he only has 195 passing and however many
yeah.
rushing.
They took a big L to the Green Bay Packers last week,
No.
which is bad for them because it was a divisional game. It was good for Green Bay because they needed to get that was like their get back game, right? Their get right game.
Yeah.
They needed that to get back on the horse. Well, Green Bay does this like they kind of slip up in the beginning of the year and then they pick it up towards the end.
Right. I
So
mean, that's been the narrative out there because they lost last year in week 1, and then this year they lose in week 1 again.
yeah,
The thing is,
I think because Rogers his brain is still mentally he's still in the off season. I don't know, some ayahuasca or something. Whatever the
yeah,
fuck he
he's
does.
still recovering, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't help if you take it with your meal before the game.
I mean,
Maybe it makes the sacks feel better. Like he gets like an extra kick when he gets sacked.
he's trying to read the play. He's like, oh, if I take a step right, that guy's gonna go this way, and that guy's gonna go this way, and I'll be able to move this way. He's trying to read into the future or something. I don't know.
Yeah. He's seeing leprechauns out there, man. I'm telling you. All right, what's up? We got the Saints. Did we pick that? You picked the Bears on that game. I'm gonna pick the Bears too.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
honestly, I think both these teams are garbage.
True.
Yeah.
True, for sure.
All right, we got the Saints and the Panthers. Saints have been making noise, if only from the media, and the Panthers, well, they just suck again. So the Panthers are perpetually bad.
That is definitely one way of putting it. But you know what? They lost 2 close games, though.
Yeah, they lost them, right? Yeah. It's the NFL, man. You got to win close games.
Yeah.
There are no moral victories.
This is a divisional game. So you know what? This one, man, the 0-2 Panthers, I'm going to pick them. Like, come on. At home, we've had 2 close games so far. Like, this is a divisional game. Come on, Baker. I'm picking Baker for this one.
Are you going to lock them in? Is that a lock for this week?
Nah, I ain't going to lock that. I'm not that confident.
I'm going to lock the Saints in right here. Yo, I'm picking the Saints in this game, 100%. We got the Raiders at the Titans. This game is a pick'em. Both teams are 0-2. Titans look bad. Oh, the Raiders also look bad. I'm always picking the Raiders, but they always let me down. So I don't even know what to do here.
The Raiders, though, they at least show some promise, you know. The Titans, they just really don't have any identity right now.
Okay. Even Derrick Henry, he's not going to come back with his mechanic foot and do anything big, huh?
They're going to need him to.
They need him to. Is it Mariota their quarterback right now for the Titans?
Nah, Mariota is the quarterback of the Falcons.
Oh, the Falcons. Okay, thank you.
And
Tannehill. Oh. He's never been good enough as a quarterback, Tannehill. He just can't pull through in the big wins when they know it's because the offense is just so one dimensional. They're gonna run with the running back. You know, it's not even like a Ravens where it's running back and quarterback running. It's like we know Derrick Henry's coming. So if you shut down Derrick Henry, then Tannehill needs to step up, and he's just never been able to do that.
That's exactly what it is. The Titans are gonna go as far as Derrick Henry takes them, and if he's not carrying them 100, 120 yards down the field, then they're not going to go anywhere. That's exactly what it is, man.
Who's your pick on this game?
I'm going to take the Raiders on this game.
Raiders.
Raiders, this will be their get-right game, and they need it.
Yeah.
They cannot go down 0-3. They might as well just bench all their starters after that. With the division they're in, I don't think there's any way.
All the teams from their division are playing non-divisional opponents this week. The Broncos are playing the Niners, and the Chargers are playing the Jaguars. Yeah. All right. So Raiders got to win. Shoot. What's the next game we got? What are the 2 things you need for every football game? Beer and jerky. Now, guys, if you have not had Bandit's Jerky out of El Paso, Texas, then you have not experienced jerky. Go to their Instagram page today at Bandit's Jerky 915. That's Bandit's Jerky 915. Over there, you can place an order today for one of their 4 different flavors. All these flavors are here to satisfy your cravings, especially on Sunday when it's time for football. They have red chili, lemon pepper, original flavor, and green chili. All these flavors you guys can order today by reaching out to Bandit's Jerky on Instagram at Bandit's Jerky 915. And when you are enjoying your Bandit's Jerky, make sure you take a picture, put it to your Instagram story, and tag at BanditJerky915. Everybody, thank you for listening to the NFT Quarterback Podcast. Let's get back into the show. Bengals 0-2, playing the Jets 1-1.
But this one, I'll be taking the Bengals, man. I think this will be their get-right game. The Jets last week got a win, but I feel like that was a bit of a fluke. The Browns just kind of collapsed at the end of that game. And Burrow kind of needs this to get back on track. You know, he needs this victory right here.
Right. So it's going to come down to his offensive line, and maybe they should try to develop some kind of running game too to give their offensive line some confidence.
Yeah, for sure. They need to do something because he is just getting sacked. I think 6 sacks last week, 7 sacks the week before. It's just damn near impossible to stay healthy if you're going to be getting sacked that many times. You know, the hits are going to start accumulating, and it's going to take a toll on them for sure.
Right. And the Jets, you see their win as a fluke. So you have, how much motivation do you have in the Jets going on this year?
I don't believe in the Jets yet. As much as I like their coach, the team, I feel isn't talented enough yet. Had Zach Wilson playing, I might have a little more faith, but with a 37-year-old Joe Flacco out there, I'm not putting any money on them. No way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe in Wilson. I haven't seen him play though either. But definitely Bengals. I'd pick the Bengals in this game too. I feel like they have to win this week. They can't go 0-3.
Yeah, for sure.
Ugh, that'd just be horrible.
Yeah, going 0-3, you might as well just bench your starters and call it a year at that point. Yeah. It's just like, it's damn near impossible.
Ridiculous. Yeah, so the Bengals, I can't see them going 0-3. Definitely not.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
So we got that game, and then after that one is the big one. The Bills 2-0 at the Dolphins 2-0. That's still a morning game. 10 a.m. game.
Yeah. To me, this looks like the game of the week, divisional game. Both teams are starting off hot. I'm going to take the Bills on this. They just seem like the most solid team from top to bottom. They just look like they're ready to go for that Super Bowl run. So I'm going to be taking the Bills on this. The 5-point spread, I don't know if it'll be that. I wouldn't take the 5 point. I'd take the 5 points with Miami if you were to put some money on it, but still, it's gonna be a good test for both teams this week. It's gonna be a good test, definitely.
And the Bills' safeties have always been kind of some big name safeties. And the question is, the thing is, Tyreek Hill knows these safeties because he's played them the last couple of years in the playoffs. So he kind of knows how to get into that secondary and wreak havoc over there. So I'm wondering if that's maybe an advantage for the Dolphins, if they can use that for Tua to kind of let him know what to look out for when he's playing the Bills defense.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Tyreek Hill is that he can have a quiet game and then out of nowhere he can just explode and get 100 yards in one quarter, you know?
Yeah.
So you can never keep your eyes off this guy. And yeah, last year in the AFC conference round, divisional round, the second round playoffs, when the end of the game, it's like both teams scored like 14 points apiece in like the last 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like at any point, this guy can get you, man. Yeah. So you got to keep your eyes on him at all times for sure.
So you're taking the Bills. I'm taking Miami. I'm not, like you said with the points. You would take Miami with the +5.5. I'm picking straight up. I'm not even thinking about gambling, but I would pick Miami in this game to win. only because I feel like still giving Tua a chance. I feel like I gave him a chance in week 1, and he's proved himself. With a comeback. The Bills are good. Of course, the Bills are good, but I'm just gonna pick Miami in this game. I like them.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. It's a divisional game. Miami's at home. They beat the Patriots week 1 at home, so they're definitely a good team, and that crowd is definitely behind them. Yeah, this one is gonna be a tough one. I mean, I think it's gonna be the game of the week. I'm
Okay.
looking to see some high-powered offense, so I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too. Let's go ahead and get into the next game. The Eagles coming in at 2-0 against the Commanders, who are 1-1. Now, quick interesting facts: Carson Wentz is second in the league in passing with 650 yards coming to this game. So he was kind of hated on coming into the season, but now he's got some numbers to say something. I mean, it's not saying a whole lot because he's still playing in Washington, but you know, like I believe you were getting into when we spoke last, was that this is also a revenge game for Carson Wentz going up against the Eagles. So what kind of mentality do you think he has going into this game, and do you think that'll be enough for him to lead the Commanders and win this game?
I definitely think this is gonna be his attempt at some sort of revenge. It's that ex girlfriend or boyfriend that's posting a bunch of pictures online. Like, oh, look at me now,
Mm-hmm.
traveling the world and stuff. That's gonna be his attempt, posting some pictures on IG. Look at these 4 touchdowns I scored on you.
There you go. There you go. You gotta pump
That's
the
what.
social media.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be his attempt here. I think that the Eagles are the better team overall, though.
Okay.
You know, so even though everyone likes a good comeback story, I'm gonna pick the Eagles on this. I think the Eagles have got something to prove. They're 2-0. I don't know if they've played any divisional games yet.
They
No,
play.
they played 2 games out of the division. So if they want to stay this or compete to win that division, because the Giants are 2-0 as well,
Right.
so they need to start winning some divisional games. And then the Giants play the Cowgirls this week, so that's another one. So that division, they're playing each other. All 4 teams are playing each other this week, so it's a big weekend for that division.
Yeah, the NFC East gonna have it big this weekend.
Yeah,
I think Jalen Hurts, he's moving in the right direction. He's still, he's having it good this year. But you do remember, actually, he lost pretty big in the playoffs last year. So even though he's riding high this year, I think he has some foundation to stand upon moving forward. And he needs to win this game. He has to win this game. I hope he realizes that, especially if the Giants. You don't know what's going to happen in the Giants game, but you want to be 3-0 and have that divisional win under your belt.
yeah, for sure. Another thing is that at the end of this year, this will be the first year that Jalen Hurts will be eligible for an extension. So if he wants to get that early extension, he's going to need to cement his foundation here as the franchise quarterback with these divisional wins.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
your bread and butter right there. You're strong. You're good in the division. The fans will get behind you. The coaches will get behind you. Your teammates will get behind you. So this is a big week for him for sure. Definitely
Definitely.
a big week for him.
Definitely. And speaking of divisional matchups, we have a Lions at the Vikings matchup coming up this week.
Yeah,
Both teams coming in at 1-1.
that whole division is 1-1, I believe.
Yeah, this is
Bears, Packers.
Vikings Lions.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to have a chance of keeping up with the Packers this year in the NFC North, they have to win this game. Both teams, I think, realize that. How do you feel about Kirk Cousins this week?
Kirk Cousins, hopefully this is his bounce back game. Had like I believe 3 interceptions last week. He needs this game. Sunday morning at home. That's when he plays his best football.
Yeah.
Sunday morning at home. So it's against a familiar opponent as well. So I'm taking the Vikings this game.
What was the point spread on this one?
I think 6.5.
6.5.
I don't know about home.
Yeah, I think it was something high like that.
6.
6. Okay. The Vikings by 6. So
Vikings 6. I wouldn't take that number though. I think it's gonna be a closer game than that.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah, this game I'd pick the Vikings too. I feel like Jefferson is the guy who can make a difference, kind of like a Randy Moss guy who
Definitely
can win you a football game as a wide receiver, So definitely he needs to come through this weekend and make that happen. But I would take the Vikings also.
Yeah.
Then we got the Ravens at the Patriots. Both teams are 1-1. Ravens going into Foxborough, Gillette Stadium. Who do you like in this one?
This one I'm taking Lamar. I think they collapsed last week in the second half, and they kind of need this bounce back team as well. The Patriots, I haven't really seen enough from them to know if they're the real deal this year. They're just kind of one of those fringe teams that looks like they're always going to put up a fight, but I don't think they really have enough talent at this point. They're kind of in a rebuild with Mac Jones, and I think it'll take them a little while to get back to where they were.
For sure. Yeah, sitting there with really no definitive direction on offense, I feel. And Mac Jones, they're really throwing him in the fire. Maybe that'll help him in the long run, or maybe he runs into a Daniel Jones or Zach Wilson or who's that guy for the Panthers that's fallen off the map,
Baker?
Not Baker, the other guy, Sam Darnold, right?
Oh, Sam Darnold is just trash. I never liked him.
Yeah. Well, Mac Jones, he did have one good year to his credit, but now he needs another one, especially in New England. They love winning over there.
Yeah, Mac Jones, he was good enough.
Yeah, good enough.
He had kind of those Jimmy Garoppolo years where he's just good enough.
Okay. Jimmy wins in the playoffs, though, too. Mac Jones did not.
Okay, this guy's a rookie, man. Relax.
Okay. He got his feet wet, but he got his doors blown off, too. Oh, man. All right. We'll give the rookie some credit, sure. But you're taking the Ravens in this game?
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens this game, man.
For sure. I can get with it. Next one's a hot one. Jaguars at Chargers with potential injury to Herbert.
This one I'm taking the Jags.
Hell yeah. Love that pick.
Partially because Herbert, even if he does play, he's most likely not going to be 100%, right? And then second part because Jaguars are playing good football, man. They're coming off that win 24-0 against the Colts. Week 1, I think they lost 26-22 to the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
So 28-22 to the Commanders, my bad. But they're showing some fight. They're definitely showing some fight. They're showing some growth. I could see them go for 7 wins this year,
And Danny, real quick, break down that division for me. What do the Jaguars have as far as a chance in that division?
You know what? So right now I'm looking at it. They're the first in their AFC South division right now, and they just beat the projected winners of the AFC South, the Colts, 24-0 last week. So that's a hell of a win. And the other two teams, the Texans and the Titans are 0-2, and the Texans tied the Colts week 1, and Jacksonville just beat them. So theoretically, they should be better than the Texans as well, right? So right now they look like they're supposed to be the best team in the division. They're still playing like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Trevor Lawrence is out there slinging it, looking like a young Aaron Rodgers.
There we go. That's what we need.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to see these new guys come up into the league and just develop, and sometimes they just come out of nowhere, but sometimes they just work themselves into a really good spot, kind of like Aaron Rodgers, or just a lot of these good quarterbacks that are getting older. And then to see that next generation come in, I find it encouraging,
There's a good group of young quarterbacks coming in right now. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was always projected to be one of them. I remember the first time I saw him play at Clemson, I was like, this boy's ready for the league.
Okay.
And, he's got to sit here and play another year. And it seemed like he was there for 3 years. I was like, damn, he's still here. Tell him to go.
Yeah.
He's ready for the next level.
For sure. He got a bad rap last year because his coach was just horrible. Like the whole organization kind of got flushed down the toilet for a season. Yeah,
he definitely got a dose of reality. He definitely got a reality check last year. He's like, damn, that's what happens when you're first drafted first overall. You go to the worst team.
Yeah, that's for sure. You learn that quick.
He definitely started from the bottom. Now he's here.
There we go. Now is his time. Is his chance, man. When he sees the division is so weak, he knows he's got to get in there, win those games. Yeah. That's big money.
All right. So I'm happy for him, and I'm expecting big things from this guy.
Yeah. I think I would pick the Jags too in this game, mainly because though the Chargers, Justin Herbert getting hurt, but the defense for the Chargers is good. So from that angle, they could have a chance. Of course, I mean it's an NFL game; they're gonna have a chance. But I'm picking the Jags just because I'm up on the Jags going into this week. So kind of like a momentum thing. I'm hoping that Lawrence can get it figured out. So I'm gonna pick the Jags in that one too.
Yeah, definitely.
Then we got the Packers at the Buccaneers. Packs 1-1, Buccaneers 2-0. What are your thoughts on that game? How would you feel on that one?
This game I'm excited to see. It's the two OGs of the league, huh?
Still kicking.
Still kicking. Still kicking. On their last thread, the last thread of their tires, I think. If you still got it.
Yeah, it's like they're hanging on. This is the last thread on the tires, but they can still perform at the highest level, like better than all these young guns.
For sure. They just know the game so well, man. They're just so veterans.
Yeah, veterans advantage there. But still, I feel like Buccaneers have the advantage in this game, mainly because of the running game and defense.
Yeah, their defense is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I'll be taking the Bucks at home. The spread is 1. Doesn't really matter.
That's almost a pick 'em right there.
Yeah. I'm taking the Bucks at home. I think they've definitely got a better start to the season. Yeah, I think that's Bucks right there.
All right, I would pick the Bucks too, and I think something interesting happens if the Bucks win this game is that the Packers go to 1-2, and then you have a Lions-Vikings winner taking control of the division. Also, the Bears have a good chance of winning. We talked about how you picked the Bears to win earlier because they're playing I can't even say some garbage team right now. But so think about how the NFC North develops if Green Bay loses this game. You have two people taking a 1-game lead on them. And yeah, from there, it's really anybody's division, and they're just gonna scratch and claw to see like week 8, week 10, who's coming out on top.
Yeah, like this is a big game for this is a big week for that division as well. You're right.
Yeah. All right. So you got the Buccaneers. It was a 1-point spread. Let's see who else we got here. I got a special guest with me. She's being quiet. My daughter's over here. All right, we got the Rams at the Cardinals. Both teams come in at 1-1. And the Rams have to win this game. The Cardinals have to win it more because they literally have zero chance without it. But I feel like the Rams want it more. Kind of want to prove a point inside the division that they're still there to win the division. And if the Niners are playing an out-of-division opponent this week, then they need to get that advantage while they have the chance to do it. So that's why I would go with the Rams this week.
I'm also going to go with the Rams. I just think they're the better team overall. I really don't have any confidence in the Cardinals. I think they got a fluke win last week as well against the Raiders. Raiders just started partying at halftime or something. They started popping bottles. They thought the game was over. I think it was like 20-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
And they're just like, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
I think they started hitting the roulette table a little early. 14 red. All right, come on.
They were betting their game bonuses on the craps table before the game was even over.
I think they thought that game was over. They fell asleep.
No. It's that Vegas flu, man. Except they should know better than that. They can't catch Vegas flu if you're living in Vegas.
I mean, it's the Raiders. Come on, bro.
It is the Raiders. The Raiders, they love to do one thing: lose football games.
Oh my God, they love to get their fans' hopes up
and crush them. Crush them like a little tin can, and then they take it over, get their 5 cents for it. All right, man. Then we got the Falcons playing at the Seahawks for the last afternoon game.
The Falcons at the Seahawks. This looks like the battle of the bottom. You're going to see a bunch of penalties in this game for sure.
False start penalties.
These teams are going to accidentally try to lose. Oh, no. We missed the field goal. Oh, no.
I think the biggest takeaway from this game is how is this going to affect the number 1 draft pick selection? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, because both teams, I believe, are going to be drafting a quarterback because the next year because neither one of them have their franchise quarterback, so I think they're looking in the draft for that. So this might fall into a situation where they both might end up 4-13. But then the winner of this game is actually going to be like, oh, no, because we won this game, now we pick second.
Yeah.
And the loser will pick first. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll definitely be interesting to see.
Yeah, from the viewpoint of the Falcons and Seahawks, this is a must-lose game, really. If you're... I mean, of all the ones on the schedule, you got to hold the tiebreaker with that number 2 spot. Try to get yourself worked up in the draft.
Even with that being said, I think the Falcons on the road, they're going to come get this victory.
There you go.
I'll take the Falcons road. Mariota is going to try to prove that he's better than the Colt McCoy project.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna want a starting job for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think Mariota's gonna go off. He's gonna get like 150 passing yards, and he might have 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown. So he's gonna have a pretty solid game for the Falcons standpoint.
That's not a solid game at all.
Hey, that's how you lose football games right there, man. No, he knows the deal. Number 1 pick. He wants to shake his replacement's hand. He's gonna put the jersey on his back when they pick him number 1.
He'll be there.
You're here because of me, man. I
He's
lost
gonna
this
walk.
football game.
He's gonna walk in like with the number 1 overall pick of the 2023 draft. The Falcons select.
And then Mariota's gonna be in the front row. That's on me, baby. Let's go, Atlanta.
Bryce Young out of the University of Alabama. Welcome to Hotland, brother.
All day. He's gonna start the revolution. Atlanta is coming back. Matty Ice is done. All the 30 packs of Matty Ice have been drunken.
Matty Ice looks like it's been left out in the sun for too long.
It's like you leave it in a bag and put it in the trunk and then the can explodes. You're like, man, don't leave.
What a mess.
Yo.
You look at your trunk and you're like, what a mess. That's what Matty Ice is doing.
That's exactly right. It was cool. It's like you go to Walmart and get your 30 pack of Matty Ice and it costs like $10 and you're like, I love Matty Ice, you know? Then you put it in your trunk and you come back after a hot day. You're like, man.
What a mess.
That's the life. That's the Matty Ice life.
We thought it was such a good deal when we bought this. Now we're totally regretting it.
Yeah.
That's what the Colts are going through right now.
That's what they're going through.
They thought they got a bargain.
Hey, $10 for a 30 pack is a bargain. You know.
30 beers for $10. Oh man. How could I pass this up?
Yo, gotta get me some Matty Ice. The world of NFTs is growing rapidly. Get in there today. Go over to partymansion.io to get yourself set up on the Party Mansion Party Goobs Discord channel. That's where the party is really happening in the NFT world. If you're into artwork, digital artwork, go over and check out the Party Mansion. How do you feel about Russell Wilson knowing the 49ers defensive system so well and having played them so often? Does that give the Broncos as a team an advantage?
You know, he might have a sense of like their schemes and stuff, but the thing is that was with another team, another franchise, another group of players that also was familiar with playing against the 49ers. Mm-hmm. I think the Niners have a bit of an edge on this because they are the franchise, even though they don't play the Broncos very often. They played against Russell Wilson at least twice a year for the last 6-7 years. So I think they're going to be a bit more familiar with him, what he likes to do, what he doesn't like to do, what he's comfortable with, what he's uncomfortable with. So I think the Niners going into the game are going to have a bit of an advantage when you consider that, their familiarity with one another, and also the fact that the Denver offense hasn't really been clicking. Or, you know, they're still trying to figure out their identity on the offensive front.
Yeah, for sure. It just hasn't looked good until that last half of their last game. So maybe that was them getting momentum offensively. But I really like the 49ers defensive line. I'm never that big of a fan of their secondary, but usually it seems to come together. And basically 49ers on offense are really good. Maybe it comes down to special teams who can play better there. But I think 49ers, they play some good special teams also. I really like them as a team, especially with Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback.
I feel like Garoppolo definitely makes their offense more stable. You know, it definitely, like, they're going to be more consistent with him. They know exactly what they get out of him. You know, he's not some hot shot like Rodgers or Mahomes, but he's a good game manager, and he knows what needs to be done to get the W. You know what I'm saying? That's the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so who would you pick in this game?
This game, I'd take the Niners on the road. I think
Nice.
it's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be close, but I think they'll pull it out.
Okay. Yeah, I'd also take the Niners in this game. The Broncos, I feel like they have a shot in every game this year, but the Niners with Jimmy G it's usually a good pick. I take the Niners.
Yeah.
I see we got one more game. Your famed Cowboys. There might be Cowboys fans listening to this podcast, so I'm gonna pick the Giants to win this game. You gotta love Bandit's Jerky out of El Paso, Texas. But I'm still going with the Giants in this game. Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes all the way. This is their first divisional game, so to assert themselves at the top of this division, the Giants are going to want to get this victory for sure.
Definitely.
I'm guessing they're going to be playing the Eagles in the next couple of weeks. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, they don't play the Eagles for a while.
But still, they got to get the W. And
yeah, sure.
Especially against the Cowboys, because, I mean, the Cowboys should be a winnable game. I don't know what happened to the Bengals last week, but...
So they play the Cowgirls this week, and then they don't play a divisional game until 11, where they play the Cowgirls again.
Okay.
And then in week 12, they play the Commanders. And then in week 13, they play the Eagles. And then in week 14, they play the Commanders again. So they play, this will be their first divisional game. And then they don't play divisional games for 10 weeks. Man. And then they play 4 divisional games in a row. So this is a big game for the Giants, for sure, in regards to their team.
Yeah. I think one thing we can say like about sports in general, whether it's a divisional race for NFL or if it's inside of an actual NFL game, is you want to get that early lead and just give yourself that cushion early on so it gives you space to move around later on in the season. You never want to lose football games, but it doesn't hurt to have an early lead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then to get those early divisional games, big momentum for your team, for your fans, just for everyone involved, you know, because it's that extra little shit talking you get to do.
Yeah.
With your closest rivals.
Of course. You see these guys 2 times a year. You want to beat them both times. So, definitely. I'm up on the Giants this year. You know, at the beginning of the season, I was way down on the Giants, but they have that good history. I'm an enormous Eli Manning fan for whatever reason, but I feel like the Giants owe it to the organization to actually be a good football team again. They owe it to football to be respectable again. And yeah, definitely. I think they're moving in that direction.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, Danny Dimes. I'm picking them to win. I think they'll win that division. I picked the Eagles to win that division. I think the Eagles are the strongest team in that division, but I want the Giants to get some W's for sure.
Yeah, true. Get them out on that 3-0 start. All right, man. So we wrapped up all the games.
Nice.
Appreciate you for coming on the podcast, of course, and enjoy your Sunday watching football.
Oh, definitely. I'll be at NFL Red Zone.
For sure. All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right, bro. Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the NFT Quarterback Podcast. A special thanks to our guest, Danny Singh, for coming on the program, always being ready with his football knowledge. Production of this episode was sponsored by RMT Books. If you guys are looking to get your name out there, to get your brand out there, go to rmtbooks.com and get yourself set up today.